Hi guys, and welcome back to the Geek Street, where the street speaks. My name is Sean, and I have Eric here. Say what's up?
What's up?
Right. Okay, so it's just the both of us for today, and we're super excited to bring you another episode of Geek Theories. So today we'll be discussing the topic anything is possible with the multiverse. If you have heard that before, you know where you heard it from. Okay.
Where you heard it
So
from?
you find out, right? You'll find out after this. Okay. All right. So without wasting your time, so this is Geek Theories, guys. Okay, guys. So today on Geek Theories, right? Okay. So what we want to theorize today is that uh, if we remember back to Marvel's What If episode 8, right? If you guys haven't watched that, please go watch it on Disney Plus Hotstar and also watch our breakdown. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have that what they call on that particular episode. We somehow throughout the entire What If we see that the Watcher watches everything and overlooks the entire timeline and whatever that the decisions that people make within the timeline, while the consequence and all that, he doesn't interfere, right? But in that episode 8, somehow we see Ultron reach a level of consciousness that is beyond what the Watcher even can comprehend, because when Ultron suddenly is aware that the Watcher is there, right? Um, the Watcher becomes surprised because by right nobody should be able to see him because he is the only one watching. Nobody's watching him, right? And he was very startled by it, right? But Ultron's response on that was that I mean, because of all the shock, the Watcher was like, "How can that be, right? How is it possible?" And then Ultron goes on to say that anything is possible with the multiverse. Okay, so we know that Marvel's What If is actually canon. Okay, it is not something just like a spin-off or something like that, right? So it is canon. Whatever happens within that particular series, Marvel can choose to whether they want to expand on it or whether they just want to leave it. Correct? Same like whatever Marvel movies we see before this, they can nitpick whatever they want within the movies so that they can use it for further like a reference, Easter eggs, or they can even use it as a plot line for future movies. So what we know now is that the multiverse, right? So if you have, we also have a video explaining the multiverse. So I don't want to explain the multiverse all over again,
Seems like
but
we
we
got a
know
lot of
what.
videos in it. We got videos
Yeah,
and everything now at this point.
yeah, all right. So even in What If, we also dwell into the multiverse so much because it's all about the multiverse. And we know that now phase 4 is called the multiverse phase, leading into phase 5 and things like that. So what we want to theorize today, right? Because even in Doctor Strange, we see that he in the Spider-Man trailer, he sees that he says that the multiverse is something that we know frighteningly little, right? That means what we have experienced so far in the multiverse is something that's very small. It is something that is not significant enough, right? There's so much more that can be expanded from the multiverse. So that is what we want to theorize today, right? Because moving forward, how can Marvel actually use the multiverse to expand into films, because we know that, okay, for example, right, we have the Fantastic Four. We know it's coming, but we just don't know when, right? Whether it's this phase or next phase, but we know they've already had a director. I'm not sure whether they've casted, but they already have a director. Is John Watts, who is also directing currently Spider-Man No Way, who directed Spider-Man No Way Home, right? So how can Marvel use this? Because as we know, so let's take a look at what do you call, what are the future films, right, that is coming up. Let's say, for example, for next year we have 3 movies coming up, which is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where we know that that is where the culmination of whatever we saw so far, the fragments of the multiverse in Loki, in WandaVision, post credit scene in and now we are going to see in Spider-Man No Way Home, and then it sort of builds up to Doctor Strange, and I think that's where it will probably explode, right? In terms of how the multiverse is being used moving forward, because I think only in Doctor Strange we will truly understand the magnitude of the multiverse, right? Because we know the introduction of the very first introduction or we see the multiverse is in Doctor Strange, in the first Doctor Strange movie. So this one is where we see like the huge whatever that the multiverse has to offer. We might see that, right? And then we also have next year Black Panther, and so on and so forth moving forward, right? And we also have the series in Disney Plus Hotstar, or there's in Malaysia, or if you're anywhere else, it's Disney Plus. We see that there's many what they call series coming out, which is like Hawkeye. I think it is not much to do with the multiverse, I suppose. It is just about how the mantle is going to be passed on from what they call Hawkeye to the next Hawkeye, right? So that's what it's all about. And then we have Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, What If Season 2. These three movies are coming, these four series are coming out, slated to come on next year, right? So Eric, so what do you think? So how can the multiverse be used in this particular series that we are going to be seeing? Let's leave the movies aside, because the movies are a lot more that we can talk about. But the series, like how are we going to see the series play out, and how the multiverse will have an effect on this coming series that we are going to have?
I think we're going to see a lot of new characters first, right? I think what Marvel will do will probably build up the characters first. Like What If also, or like Loki. We just got a lot of the character. Only towards the end we teased about the multiverse. So if Marvel were to just jump the gun and go multiverse straight on it, then I think they lose a lot of essence on No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness, and what Thor is going to offer later too. We don't know which direction Thor is going to go. That movie itself from Thor is could open up Guardians of Galaxy, could open up Hulk and She-Hulk. So we don't know what kind of direction that is going on. But I don't think Marvel will do it now straight away, multiverse in the series. But it's definitely a path lah. It's the first lah. Especially with XMen 97, right?
Yeah, XMen 97. So that's one more. Yeah, so we have Agatha, House of Harkness. We have Armor War, Echo, Ironheart, and what they call XMen 97, right? So these are so the beauty of the multiverse, right? So Eric, so the beauty of the multiverse is that they can go back in time, right? Say like XMen 97, and tell, okay, that particular events that happened in X-Men 97 is from a different timeline, right? So, and they can actually use it to bring characters from there, right? And then use it on the current timeline, like they bring them in, like say for example, like how Spider-Man No Way Home, you're going to be seeing Electro, Lizard, villains from a different movie or a different era or a different timeline, right? Coming into this. So I think that's the beauty of the multiverse. Is like they can use anything and everything to correct, rights, wrongs, to sort of like have a fresh restart, right? They can say this particular timeline, it doesn't work, right? I think that there's so much that Marvel can use, because since they've already because we know Disney already bought Fox, right? So they have like Fantastic Four. I think there's like 2 movies that they have done prior to this, and then they have also cartoon series that they have done before this, and then we also know that X-Men, there's a lot of cartoon series out there, right? And then we also have the X-Men, sort of like their own universe, right? So they can practically just take like characters, or they can take like, okay, let's say a plot line that happened in certain movies. Let's say in the X-Men movie, they can take that plot line and use it here, and sort of like combine the both, right? So I think that's the reason why the multiverse was introduced in the first place, because it gives like so much of
Opportunity.
how to say, yeah, correct, so much of option and possibilities, right, in terms of how, and how they can move for mean like move forward with this lah,
Like
right?
like I said, I think in my first or second video of what if, I mentioned that what if is a opportunity for the directors and the producers and the artists to do whatever they want. They can throw anything they want, they can throw any ideas, they can do whatever they want. It's their time to be creative. But then it's cartoon, that it's animated. You save the cost, your cast isn't that much, you don't have to scout for areas or places. But now with all these new upcoming movies and what Doctor Strange and Spider-Man is going to open up now, they're going to make it real. They're going to make it real. We can see them, we can feel them in cinemas. Like both of us said, like it's an opportunity. It's a big one for them. And even though they're going to probably spend a lot casting big names, big people, big directors, I think it's still going to be worth it because everybody's going to be watching now. Everybody's going to be following because there's definitely going to be one character that they like. Even with the new releases, there's like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 titles. In the 9 titles, just assume there's 2 each, 2 new characters. There's like 18 new characters coming up. Don't tell me people won't fall in love with the characters just like we did with Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, and much more. So yeah, it's gonna be insane what the multiverse is gonna put us through.
Yeah, I know. I mean, for me itself, when I was reading up on the multiverse and I mean, basically what is it in the MCU? I mean, there's so much of theories out there, so much of possibilities, like what I said. So you might get lost in it. So I think the challenge for Marvel now is to not bore us with so many things, right? That's number one. And secondly is that they need to have a sense of like genuine sort of like plot, like they're putting forward, not just for the sake of like, oh, multiverse, or you have to do this or you have to do that. No, it's like they have to make sure that there's a clear direction. Like for example, like in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, we saw like a clear direction, right? Because from the first Avengers post-credit scene, Thanos was there, right? So we know that is the direction that they want to go to, right? And now in phase 4, yes, we know we had Kang only so far in Loki, right? There's not much mention of him after that. And also there's not I mean, Spider-Man No Way Home, we don't know what's the post-credit scene. We don't know what is Marvel going to like throw at us, right? So but if let's say for example, if they want Kang, right, they want Kang to be the one that is like leading forward, right? So they need to make sure that they sort of like tie in the entire story towards what they call the I mean, every movie has to tie in sort of in that direction, like at the end, like, okay, so we have this phase, so this phase is particularly focusing on Kang. Let's say 4 and 5, this is focusing on Kang. At the end, we have some huge battle and then we move on from there, or so I think that's what we as sort of like superhero fans want, because we know that we like those final epic battles. Let's say like the one we had in Endgame. That was something that was so amazing, that 5 years ago or 10 years ago wouldn't have been possible with all the CGI, VFX, and all that. I mean, we love those sort of like an ending, right? Despite I know we lost Iron Man and Captain America decided to like just say screw y'all and to go back, retire. Despite all that, right? The ending itself, the way that how the Avengers won, I think that's what we want to see.
Yeah,
right?
But you also said it best, lah. Given how many movies and series coming up, they can overwhelm us, and at one point of time, it's just gonna be like, I'm just like, because that's what happened. That's what's happening now. Like a lot of people are not following because What If is a animated series, and Wanda is a series, and Loki was a series. Although Loki had many fans, but a lot of people didn't follow anymore, also because of COVID. I mean, COVID, the pandemic really killed Marvel, killed us, but it's still not it's still not an excuse, you know. But people just lose interest and they couldn't follow, and once they skip one and they see spoilers everywhere, they're just no man, I already know already, I don't have to watch it again, and with all these series and movies coming out, we can be overwhelmed with the numbers and get tired of following. Of course, we got other things to do in our life, we want to watch other things. So Marvel has to play well with the timing, and like you said, Marvel has to link it really, really well to build our interest and for us to keep going. Because if they don't connect the dots themselves and they expect us to connect the dots, then I think at one point it will just get very stale, and we just hope for the movie to drop and bang us all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. I mean, because we need that sort of like. Okay, I know. It's always new is always better. That's what we always say, right? That means they don't want to do, because I mean, I read somewhere before that Marvel wants to move towards something new and don't want to just continue with that same way that they've been doing the movies, right? They want to do something a bit more different. Yes, we welcome the difference, but we still want that same sense of a little bit of familiarity in the way that how we grew with Marvel, That means from Iron Man all the way until Avengers Endgame, and all the way until now with the release of Shang-Chi and Eternals. We want to have that sense of like, okay, this is Marvel, this is Marvel, this how Marvel does things, and not to try something new and get the fans to like go away from it, So I think that they have to tread the line sort of really, really carefully, right? Because looking at the list of movies, right, we don't see a particular movie that is like a team up movie, You understand? Because like what got me going in the first place with the MCU is that yes, it started off with what they call with Iron Man, and then it moved on to, and we see like Black Widow inside Iron Man, and and then we have like Thor, and then we also have Captain America and things like that, and then we also like Captain America was after Avengers, but like we have the Avengers movie. We have like the team up movie, So like we want to also experience that, but so far we don't have that yet, in Marvel's sort of like how to say in their plans, because as we can see in the movies that they have, right? Like next year we have those 3 individual movies, which is Thor, Doctor Strange, and Black Panther. And then the following year in 2023, we have the Marvel's Guardians, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. And then, so the next 2 years, we see like a lot of individual movies. But what I hope that they can do is that to put some characters inside those movies,
I think they definitely do that. I think they definitely do that, because even Iron Man all started alone. Iron Man was
no,
alone.
but you see,
But
even in Iron Man, they still had Black Widow,
Yeah.
right?
They linked it.
Yeah,
So
and
I think they will do the same, because even now they're doing with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's going to be with Doctor Strange. And then when we go to Multiverse of Madness, we're going to see Doctor Strange maybe with Spider-Man, and also Wanda. Let's not forget that Wanda's going to be there. So eventually they will link up slowly but surely. Eventually, I think Marvel knows what to do, knows how to do it. It's just how much they're gonna surprise us. That's the bigger picture, lah.
Yeah, because like okay, the one that I'm sort of suspecting that they will do something of a collaboration will be Secret Invasions, because we know in Secret Invasions, in the comics, there have been what they call certain characters that are there. Let's say Captain America was in Secret Invasion in the comic, but we know now we don't have Captain America. But whether we are going to be seeing other characters like, let's say,
Agent Carter.
what do you call? Yeah, I mean, what do you call the Falcon? I mean, who's the new Captain America, and Winter Soldier inside Secret Invasion? Those maybe those characters who are not so cosmic. Who are here on Earth, and like Spider-Man or something like that. Within Earth itself, that they can be involved in some sort of way, right? Because we also don't know the plot line for Secret Invasion, how it's going to pan out, whether they're going to be using the comic because they use the comic. That is they can go many different ways as well. But we know Marvel normally picks up from the comic, but it's just that they do it a bit differently. They don't follow 100%. So that's why I'm just thinking, what Secret Invasion will do, because we know for sure that Nick Fury will play a very, very big part in Secret Invasion, right? So maybe he will be the one that's calling up everybody and saying, "Hey, we gotta fight," the scrolls, or because we know, like in the Secret Invasion movie comic, is that we know that the scrolls are not on the side of the humans, but here it's sort of like different, because the scroll are somehow on the side of the humans, and and things like that. So it's quite it's quite a challenge for Marvel to see how they're going to be doing it. But we'll see how. So that's the thing. So maybe we might see a team up movie in Secret Invasion,
No.
because that's coming out next year, but there's no timeline for exactly when next year.
But like our title is like our whole I wouldn't say title, but the point of discussion is like anything is possible in the multiverse. So at this point, we already reached the multiverse. We are in that multiverse phase right now. So anything is possible. They can even bring back Tony Stark and say he's from another multiverse and revive him back if they want to put another character. They can do anything. So which is scary. Like even you say Secret Wars. Like we don't know what's gonna happen. They never followed comics. They never did follow comics. I mean, they always used it as a reference. Like this is the type of line you want to go, but they never directly copy one to one on the comics, and that's the surprising part lah. That's the thing that pulls our leg and surprises us. So it's gonna be epic lah. It's multiverse is gonna be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be epic, but hopefully it's not
overwhelming.
Something that we regret.
Disappointing. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want it to be disappointing. Like what you said about let's say like bringing back Iron Man, Tony Stark, bringing back Steve Rogers, Captain America, right? These are definitely possibilities. So I think Marvel has put themselves in a position that, because we know that in Spider-Man No Way Home that Doctor Strange said that the last thing that these villains did was that they fought Spider-Man, so that means they are pulled from the time that before they die. So maybe somebody can just go like, oh, we need Tony Stark, we need him here. So they go back, to the multiverse and pull him from before he died in Iron Man or something. I mean, in Avengers. Or something like that. So I mean, So that means the possibilities are very real.
And you know what's funny? Nobody would see it coming. Nobody would see it coming.
Correct. Yeah, that means they can use it anywhere and anytime.
Nobody would see it coming. It'll be a big surprise, and everybody will be shouting like how Captain America held the Mjolnir, and we have been like, whoa. So this is gonna be like the same reaction if they actually showed Iron Man. Plus, Peter Parker never had a proper goodbye to Tony Stark. So who knows?
Yeah. I think definitely there will be
there'll be a rumor lah for sure. Because the minute he get contract one, sure. No, but who knows? Maybe his investor. He's like, okay, I'll do it for free. I'll just cameo for 2 minutes for free. Who knows?
So speaking about anything is possible with the multiverse. So we have Marvel has sort of like hinted that there's going to be 2 additional Marvel movies after Fantastic Four, which they have not released the title yet. So because anything's possible in the multiverse, right? So I'll go first. I would say what I think it will be, and how I think they can relate it to the current MCU. So the first one that I think that they're going to be doing is definitely Daredevil, because as we know, Charlie Cox is very heavily rumored to be in Spider-Man No Way Home, and there's also leaks footages of Charlie Cox sitting in a table with Happy, Aunt May, and Peter. So we have seen Matt Murdock, that's the character name. So we know that he will play some part in the movie, maybe not a huge part, but definitely some, even a small part in the movie. So I think there will be a Daredevil movie that definitely will come out. And then also the other one that I'm really thinking and hinting towards will definitely be XMen, right? People are saying, okay, maybe it could be Deadpool, but I think it could be a combination between XMen and Deadpool, because we know that Deadpool can be part of the XMen. So as we see in the Deadpool movies, how XMen is somehow tied in together with Deadpool. So I think they can even do they can actually kill two birds with one stone by using that. So I think that are the two movies that will probably come out, and how. Like I mentioned earlier, how they're going to be revamping X-Men. Say, for example, how do you revamp a Wolverine that's already dead? Right? We know what they call Logan is dead, right? He died. So how do you bring a character like who's already dead? How do you bring or sort of like retcon a particular character that shouldn't be, or it shouldn't be alive, correct? So like how we talk about Tony Stark, like how we talk about Spider-Man No Way Home, how these villains are being brought back. Definitely, I think the multiverse will definitely play a part. How they can bring back, let's say, a Wolverine, right? Or what they can do is they can say that particular Wolverine, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, is like from a different timeline, doesn't have anything to do with the MCU. We can introduce our own Wolverine, right? So they can even do that. They can introduce their own Professor X. They can introduce their own what they call Storm. They can and so on and so forth with all the X-Men characters. So I think that's the way. So with anything is possible with the multiverse. This is what it means, right? So this is how they can use that. And Deadpool, how they can use, because I never liked the Ben Affleck Deadpool. It was one of the worst superhero movies I think I've seen, and they followed up that with Batman, which I think it was so ridiculous having Ben Affleck as Batman. So leaving that aside, leaving my personal reasons aside, I think they shouldn't bring back the old what do you call Deadpool, Daredevil, in what they call with Charlie Cox, who's Matt Murdock. So I think they will pull from the series itself and then make it into a feature film. So they're not going to do anything with the old Daredevil movie. Sorry. So they're going to be doing that. So I think that's my take in terms of what is that untitled Marvel movie. So I think what do you think?
I think I will agree with you, because I don't know. I just think that he's a very important figure going forward. Unlike Deadpool and Venom or Wolverine, those are the names. Those are big names that already has their own fame. For example, so connecting them together would be rough, because you'll be like, okay, when we put him together with Spider-Man, for example, who should we make the antagonist? Who should we make the main character? Because Deadpool, if you think about it now, Deadpool has a bigger name than Venom. And if you put them together, Deadpool is going to overtake that name. And if you put Wolverine together with Deadpool, Wolverine's going to... So, Marvel eventually, when they wanted to bring all the Avengers together, all the six together, all of them had their names set already. Thor had his movies. Natasha had her movies. Clint not so, because he was like the supporting role. Iron Man had his movies. All of them had their names built ready for them, and they just had to just come up and put a show. So with Daredevil, we know that he had his own series, and it's the same actor, right? So he had his own series. People has been watching it. So now it's just a matter of connecting the dots, which is very easy for them to do, rather than building the fame up together. And we know that Spider-Man already has his fame, so it's easy. So I would agree with you, lah. But after that, and they can put anything they want, lah. They can even bring Punisher as well,
Yeah. I mean, they are slated to because Punisher is very heavily rumored as well. Also, Blade, we know that they've already announced, but never announced whether they're doing a series or a movie. Yeah. We don't know, but we know that they are planning. Blade is in the plans. Yeah. So that's why, like I said, maybe having an X-Men movie would definitely culminate a lot of these characters like Blade, Deadpool. They can mix and match those characters into one movie. Rather than having their own sort of like so they can probably save time and do other things as well. So I think that, so like I said, anything is possible with the multiverse. So we can look forward to many things, like after the recent announcement of Disney Plus series, and also what are the movies that they've already announced, and things like that. So I think there's a lot of things that are probably possible, with having the multiverse, right? So
You know,
that is sort of
whenever you watch movies, you question: Is this even possible? Can someone like lift a car, or can someone, now we're gonna question this, but we can't say anything because it is possible. Anything is possible in the multiverse. That's the crazy part.
correct. Yeah. Okay. So I'm excited for what the multiverse is going to bring. Especially starting with Spider-Man. By the way, if you guys are watching this, please also watch our trailer breakdown of Spider-Man No Way Home. It's already out, so please do that. And what they call there's so many things that we can look forward to, and I'm pretty excited in terms of especially the next two with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Then we will probably have a clearer picture. Like I've always said in previous videos, I think we know that Doctor Strange will be that culmination of everything. So that is where I'm really looking forward to having to see Doctor Strange, and note down everything that happens in Doctor Strange, because I think that's going to be that will signal to us, okay, whether they're going to be doing this or whether they're going to be doing that, or they're bringing this character in, they're taking, they're not going to move forward with this character, something like that, right? So I think it's very important that you can miss probably any other movies, but not Spider-Man No Way Home and not Multiverse of. If you didn't want to watch Shang-Chi, so yeah, I think it's okay because that's like an origin movie, right? And if you don't even want to watch Eternals, also I think that's okay, right? But Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I think that is going to be the bomb, right? So I can't wait for it. I'm excited. Are you excited, Eric?
I'm speechless, man.
Speechless.
The way you're telling me, like we're gonna see it in 2 weeks, but that is the case for Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man is
in about 3 weeks,
yeah,
about 3 weeks, yeah.
But for Multiverse of Madness is like a long way more to go. So I'm hyped, but I can't be too hyped because if not, I'll be crying to bed every night.
Yeah. All right. So I think that's all for today on our thoughts and theories on anything is possible with the multiverse. We didn't want to make this a super long video because there's so many things that we can talk about. But we just wanted to give our theories and thoughts on the upcoming movies and how the multiverse is going to be played out, right? So we are super excited. Like what Eric said, he's speechless. And we are looking forward. So please do leave your comments, guys. Tell us what do you think Marvel is going to do with all the characters, and what is your reaction towards having the multiverse, finally having the multiverse in the MCU. So please do leave your thoughts and comments right down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. That's it from us. This is the Geek Street, and the street has spoken.
Bye, guys.